I'd like to tell you about a show of epic proportions.
I prefer me some magic when I'm trying to get in and out of houses, undetected. I prefer me some magic.
A show where the boundaries are pushed.
I like spam. Is there something wrong with that?
No, nothing at all. If you prefer meat with jelly on top of it, go right ahead.
I'd like to tell you about that show, but that is not this show. This show is the Fortean Slip, with host Chris York.
I have a tendency to go to dark places with my humor. It is what it is. It's not going to change anytime soon.
Co-host Steve Alcorn.
It was so earth-shaking and mind-blowing that even John Teeter in the future knows about it.
And reoccurring, ever-present special guest, Matt Knapp.
Yeah, somebody should have put out like a giant bug zapper and just ended that whole Mothman debacle.
A show that lacks taste, a filter, and listeners.
Are you listening? Are you like hearing the fucking fart?
Yeah!
You're not just smelling it, you're hearing
Not just smelling. Audible as well.
That would be something else.
Oh,
But
you
well,
have
I do.
parts that you can't tell if it was you or not.
Well, yeah, because
What you are about to hear may be offensive, but we don't really give a fuck.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fortean Slip. This is episode 19. The We Didn't Bring Our Pencils and Paper episode. Gentlemen,
is this where we're supposed to say something?
no. Stay silent, because dead air always helps a show.
Well, as long as the music's going in the background, it's not dead air, so we're good to go.
That is a good point.
Yes. You should just play the music the whole show. It's probably better than what we're going to say
Skip
anyhow.
it. Just skip the whole fucking show.
Yeah, we're probably going to wish we did.
How about that sheep pig?
I love sheep pig.
Sheep.
What the
pig.
fuck is a sheep pig?
It's a woolly pig,
Pig that looks like a sheep.
commonly known as a sheep.
And the bacon probably tastes, extra special good because it's got sheep and pig in it.
Is it really a sheep pig?
I think it just looks like a sheep with a pig face.
What's preventing it from being a pig sheep?
Because, sheep pig just sounds better.
Maybe they just meant it's a sheepish pig.
Does a sheep pig have bioluminescent eyes?
Absolutely.
According to Matt Moneymaker, yes.
Okay. I wanted to make sure we were all on the same page there.
That's how
You
they
can
sound.
actually make glow-in-the-dark socks out of their wool.
I was looking for glow-in-the-dark wool socks just now.
But if you have these glow-in-the-dark sheep pigs running around the forest, it possibly explains the glow-in-the-dark Bigfoot penis. Things get lonely in the
Nice
woods.
callback
It was, wasn't it?
to the episode with our wonderful
Esteemed colleague.
ethnic friend, Bob Dominguez.
Bobby D.
Bobby D, as we like to call him.
I missed the Bigfoot glow-in-the-dark penis episode.
Well, it's available on our channel on YouTube.
Yeah, I didn't listen.
Yeah, Steve boycotts all the episodes that he's not on.
I can't make it this week, guys. I hate that fucking show.
I just want to know, Steve, if they packaged something in a can and called it sheep pig, if you'd eat it.
Damn.
That's actually
Skippy.
what the first two letters of spam stand for.
Sheep
Sheep
pig.
pig.
Sheep, pig, and mackerel.
I prefer mine without the mackerel.
Sheep, pig, anus meat.
That's probably
Where did you find
that's probably what it really is.
Where did you find the sheep pig story?
I Google. Where do I find everything? I don't know. It was like SciTech or something.
DailyMail.uk.
No, it was a legitimate news source, but it's one of those news sources that play a video the whole time you're on the web page, and it slows my computer down. So we decided not to go with that one tonight.
Yeah.
Because, I'm still running Windows Vista.
Your computer is like what John Teeter went back in time to get in the 70s.
In fact, it is my computer that John Teeter came back to get.
That's why it's all fucked up.
But, it does run
Yes, a time
machine.
traveler from the future came back for your computer to fix things, and you were like, no. You can't have it.
No, I gave it to him, but that was, in the future, and he came back to the past and gave it back to me because it didn't work.
That's not how the story goes, Steve.
At all. At all.
In my timeline, it is.
Fair enough. There you have it. He has thus admitted that he is from a parallel dimension.
We're on a divergent timeline. Yes, I honestly believe that Steve comes from another divergent timeline where technology didn't exist. Everybody bartered for everything.
With canned meat.
with spam.
Sheep, pig, anus meat. Yep, that's what we use as our currency.
Beats the hell out of bitcoins.
Yeah.
There you go. Spam coins.
What's a Bitcoin?
Nothing.
I do know what a Bitcoin is. It's some sort of internet currency type thing, right?
Sure.
Yeah, it's some sort of internet currency type thing.
Like dollars, for instance.
It's like the Google.
See, I
We
think I
have,
know who you were trying to be there. That
We
was.
have ex-President George Bush on the line?
No,
Oh.
I thought it was Richard Nixon.
it's not.
How would you get Nixon out of that?
Well, how did you get George Bush out of that?
Because it sounded like George Bush.
I didn't think so.
Junior, does that clear it up?
Oh,
Bush Junior.
Junior. Well,
W.
No, W, because he's
W.
not actually technically a junior.
Oh, I thought his father's name was George Bush as well.
Yes,
No.
Herbert
Herbert
Walker.
Bush. Yes.
Bush.
And GW was just GW, not Herbert Walker. So he's not technically a junior.
How do you get George out of Herbert?
What?
We've never had a president named Herb Bush.
No. Never mind. I don't know. I'm still on a Windows Vista computer. I have no idea.
What was
the hell we're talking
W's
about.
father's name while president of the
What
United
about
States?
Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass?
George Herbert Walker Bush. Right?
What did he go by?
George.
What did his son go by?
George.
Okay. Just checking.
But technically, you have to have the same name to be considered a junior. And they had different names. Middle names.
It's the middle names, Matt. It's the middle names.
Look it up. It's on
That's
Google.
a variance. Middle names can be different.
Not in my timeline.
In my timeline, they can. In my timeline, they don't even have to have one name that's the same.
In my
They don't even have to have the
timeline,
same last name.
I fucking dumped both of you off the fucking show.
Are you trying to make it successful or something?
Then the ratings go through the roof.
Finally.
Wait, do we even have ratings?
Damn it.
We're like sandbags on the hot air balloon.
Oh, in the intro, Chris, you say we don't have any listeners, and that's not true. I forced my mother to listen last week.
Oh, dear
Gunpoint.
Christ.
Steve pulled a gun from his vagina and
My
forced his mother to listen. Is that the episode that you made your mom listen to by chance?
Yes. The gun in the vagina episode.
And you wonder why you get spam for Christmas.
I was proud of that show.
I was proud of
I thought it was our best.
Yeah, it's up for all kinds of awards.
Yes. The Marconi.
What's that one that they give to like the ones that fail, the Darwin Award or something?
Oh yeah, we fucking qualify there.
I think that's the one we're up for.
Yeah.
Anywho,
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, sheep pig. I don't know what a fucking sheep pig is. I saw a picture of one.
it's not a cryptid. It's an actual animal.
Is it just a
Well,
hairy fucking pig?
It's just a hairy pig.
pig.
All right, then fuck sheep pigs then. Jesus.
They make socks out of the wool, I think.
We've been there.
Oh, glow-in-the-dark socks.
Yeah, because the bioluminescence.
My timelines are diverging again.
So did Matt Moneymaker really say that fucking Bigfoot have bioluminescent eyes?
Who's Matt Moneymaker?
I didn't listen to that show. Or I didn't watch that show. But I heard it. I heard people saying it. That he said
Matt
it,
Moneymaker said that?
apparently. And they use them to signal each other or something? Their eyes?
You can act like you don't know who it is, Matt. I know. But
Well,
Well,
no, okay, here's the thing.
No,
I
wait,
heard,
Matt
I saw
said-
posts about Matt said, and then some crazy shit about Bigfoot having light up eyes. I thought,
immediately went, what the fuck is Nap doing this time?
how? See, I went Dr. Johnson.
No, that was money. That was definitely Moneymaker.
Oh, wow. I have
Yeah.
some apologies not to make.
Why would you even think that an esteemed doctor such as Matthew Johnson would make a statement such as that?
I don't know. Forgive me. I should know better.
According to a blog that I read, he's the most credible man in Bigfooting.
He is. Which leaves us in a sad state of affairs.
Mm-hmm.
Why would Moneymaker say it? Because Moneymaker says random shit off the top of his head that he portrays as fact, and he was the first person to discover it. So
Isn't he the one that said Bigfoot doesn't sneeze or something like that?
yeah,
I do love how that motherfucker will say stuff about the habits of a creature that we don't fucking know anything about, like it's been documented by fucking National Geographic.
yeah. Like the one time, and I mean that, the one time I watched the show, on the commercial breaks they had these little multiple choice questions about Bigfoot, and this particular question was about where the skunk ape in Florida gets its smell. And I don't remember what all the possible answers were, but the answer that they claimed was the right one was because around caverns that are filled with methane gas.
Mm-hmm.
And it like soaks into their skin and hair, and that's why they stink.
Sounds plausible.
Abandoned caverns left by alligators, like underground alligator nests that have been abandoned. The skunk apes live inside of those. Says fucking who?
Matt Moneymaker.
When was that discovered?
Where else would they?
It was discovered around the same time that they discovered the Fountain of Youth down there. I think it was Ponce de Leon.
Yes.
It was.
And yeah, they found Bigfoot layers. And that's when they found all that out. It was a long, long time ago, Matt. I don't expect you to remember this shit. You know.
Well, I was busy that week that Ponce de Leon
We were
was
looking for the lost city. of
exploring the
gold.
Americas.
And fucking some Mayans killed some people on an altar, and it was a divergent timeline. You and I were in the past.
It must have been, because in my history book, Ponce de Leon never actually discovered the Fountain of Youth.
Really, Steve?
I'm just saying. But you said you were on a divergent timeline, so...
We're all on divergent timelines.
Obviously.
Everybody's reality is their own. Let's go further down the fucking rabbit hole tonight.
Let's go.
I have no reality.
Oh, you've got some...
My headlamp is on.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
The bullshit
That
is
statement,
getting thick.
the statement that came out of my mouth, I don't even know what it meant.
The statement that came out of your mouth.
Yeah, Steve, I have no reality.
I'm pretty sure that my daughter, when she was 3, said something quite similar to what you just said to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
All right, you two.
Wait, you're saying I have the mentality.
Break it up.
You're saying now on the air that I have the mentality of a 3-year-old.
No, he's saying his daughter is extremely intelligent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Steve.
Thank you. That was a compliment,
Good
and I
save,
missed
Matt.
it.
Good save.
So let's go ahead and throw it under the bus. I'm going
Sheep,
there.
pig, anus meat.
Anybody going to stop me? Anybody?
No.
Sheep, pig,
Go
anus
ahead.
meat.
Okay. What's been going on in the blog talk world? Anything
What's
new?
blog talk? Huh? Blog
Anything
talk.
new and exciting?
I heard tell. Just saying. I heard tell that there was a certain Bigfoot researcher out of Ohio.
Field reporter, I think. Something
Maybe.
like that.
Went on a blog talk show with who's that? Paul Halsey?
You mean Bama Buxter? That guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the researcher out of Alabama. He's got that blog talk show.
Southern Sasquatch Radio?
I guess. I don't know. I don't listen to
Yeah,
blog talk
that's
shows.
the name of it. That's the name
Okay.
of Paul Halsey's show, yes, So what else did you hear?
I didn't hear much of anything because I wasn't paying fucking attention, to be completely honest with you.
So Matt,
I was trying to alley-oop that fucker.
so I guess what we're getting into is what was said on that particular blog talk radio
You know
show.
what? We don't even have to go that route with it. I mean, we can if you want to, but it doesn't really matter as much as just the overall constant harassment or negative comments coming from the Bigfoot community about the show Bigfoot Bounty, as it being an embarrassment to the community and all of that. This particular show, some things were directed towards Rictor, who's on the show. Some things were said that were opinionated, I would say, some flat-out lies in others, and just some mean-spirited negative comments. My question is this. Let's just get this one out here. Rictor's a homosexual.
What?
Yes, I know that's hard to believe, but he is. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. It's just a matter of fact. He is. So, other than that, and personal opinion and issue with someone else's sexuality, why anybody would be concerned with that is beyond me. But other than that, I don't understand what their problem is. Calling him an embarrassment to the community on this show. Okay, well, what has he done research-wise that's been so horrible?
It was an
Is it the way he conducts himself?
It was an obvious attack on him.
Right. But it's
Absolutely.
being masked. You know, these people want to say all these things about it being an embarrassment and all that, but they're just using personal attacks. They're not actually addressing the issue of, do you have a problem with the way that the show is conducted? Because nobody on there has anything to do with that. talk trash about the producers and the creator of the show, if that's your issue. Because I haven't seen anybody, okay, I take that back, rubbing elk shit on your head. Kind of out there.
That does make you an asshole.
Right. But I'm just saying, research-wise, their collecting techniques have been solid. The way that they're looking for everything and paying attention to what's going on, it's pretty solid stuff. So what's the issue? Where's the embarrassment part? Because it is just a TV show, and it's catering to the viewer base in the United States of America at this point. And I'm sorry, but it wasn't made for the 1,000 or so people in the Bigfoot community that are bitching about it. They don't care if you don't watch it or don't like it.
Here's what the embarrassment to the Bigfoot community about that show is. The Bigfoot community is concerned that it will show the Bigfoot community exactly the way it really is. And that's why they're so scared, I think, of it.
Well, they've done a very good job of that. I mean,
right.
So far, the drama and the backbiting and all that has started, and that's exactly what the community is like. I mean, that's what these people are doing that are bitching about it.
Right. I mean, and I'm going to go there, and I don't know if you guys are okay with it or not, but to have somebody call a man a flaming homosexual, regardless as if he's gay or not, to me, in my opinion, is wrong. And that's what Paul Halsey did on that show. And Sharon Lee, the field reporter, said, I'd like to throw a fish under his tent and then watch a bear eat him. And then Henry May said that he wanted to throw a copperhead in his tent. I mean, that is just disgustingly wrong, in my opinion. Yes, I agree that there's a freedom of speech issue, but I just can't get over those statements. And Rictor, as you two know, is a very good friend to me. So regardless of anybody's opinion of the man, I'm going to be upset about that sort of thing.
Well, I'm not friends with Paul Halsey. I know who he is. I've probably talked to him a handful of times throughout the past. I like the guy. I think he's a good researcher. I think he does good work. I'm sure there's a lot of people that would argue with that. I think what he said was an asshole thing to say. Yes, he does have freedom of speech. He does have the right to his opinion, and he has the right to voice that opinion. But it was still an asshole thing to say, regardless. And, the fact that it just kind of blows my mind for him to criticize what other people are doing, yet he associates with the likes of Sharon on his radio show. I mean, he supports her, but because there's a homosexual man representing the Bigfoot community on television, that's an atrocity.
And I think
that bugs me.
Paul, and I'm not sure that he's still credentialed, but he was a former minister. And coming from that background, a lot of Christians believe that homosexuality is an abomination. And so to him, perhaps, this is my opinion only, that it is an abomination. However, in the past, he's asked Rictor to draw him. He's always been friendly to Rictor up until...
Right, and he asked him to draw him nude.
Well, I don't remember how he asked him to draw him. I just remember.
He wanted to be drawn nude, bent over a stump, out in the woods. I'm joking. I apologize.
Well,
but I'm just saying, regardless, what Paul said was meant to hurt. It was meant as an attack. And I would kind of like to know why he feels the need to attack Rictor. I mean, that's my biggest thing with the whole deal is what's the exact problem with the show and what's going on with the show? Because I got news for you. Holding a Bigfoot conference and acting all scientific-y, as Phil Pauling would say, is just as much of an embarrassment to the community as this show is whenever you're talking about the public's view of it. acting that way, behaving that way. It's not doing anything for us. It hasn't done anything for us.
Well, here's another issue I had with that particular show and all the blog articles and all the people on Facebook posting, and I could name names, but I'm not going to. But they are condemning this show for the same things that they're doing. And that, to me, is just stupid. That's two-faced.
But we all know why. Because they're not on the show.
And let me just put it for the record. I auditioned for this show. Everybody already knows that. I've talked about that before. And had I been on that show, I wouldn't have been there for the $10 million.
Well, what about the argument that the people on the show aren't real researchers?
The only one on that, well, some of them aren't. Some of them are hunters. We know Justin has been to the Sierra site countless times with Roe. So if that qualifies as a researcher, then they're researchers. And we know Stacy Brown is, whether you believe his thermal footage is a hoax or not. Rictor is admittedly not a Bigfoot researcher in terms of going out into the woods. That was his first trip. He's been open and honest about that. Dax is a Bigfoot researcher. I mean, legitimate, in my opinion.
Gary Busey?
Yes,
Yeah.
Gary Busey's son.
Michael Merchant, whether I like him or not, he's been out there countless times, you know, and he's got video to prove that he's been out. Now, does he find evidence of Bigfoot usually? Hell no. But he's out there, you know.
Well, let's steer this fucking back, because I let you guys fucking ramble. Here's my take on it. It's like walking by your neighbor's house where your neighbor has a dog that barks every fucking time, and you walk by and the dog barks at you and you go, "What the fuck are you doing?" You're talking about people that are gonna do this regardless. I've seen Sharon Lee attack people countless fucking times. Rictor over and over and over. Paul Halsey, I don't know, but from the sounds of it, I'm sure he's just a hoot of a fucking individual. However, it's a fucking radio show. And Matt, you had brought up the fact that, you know, there are standards or whatever on Blog Talk.
Yes, they have terms of use that you have to abide by.
However, in my opinion, it's a freedom of speech thing. I don't like that they went on there and were hateful. However, I support their right to be able to say it. It doesn't, you know, I mean, it doesn't fucking faze me either way. I also think that if you put yourself out in the public view and you're looking for fame and attention, and then you get that fucking attention, it's not always going to be what you're going to like.
Right.
There are tons of people who are in the limelight every fucking day that take shit.
But that goes for both the contestants on Bigfoot Bounty and people like Paul Halsey and Sharon Lee who put themselves out there. You're gonna get attention that you don't want sometimes.
Right.
So I agree with you there. The only problem I have with this free speech argument is, now if I were to walk on a schoolyard and start swearing like a sailor, what would happen? You know, there are limits to what we can say, and to pick on a man for his sexuality and to use that as an argument against somebody, to me, is just wrong. It would be as if I went, you know, Paul was a minister, and if I called him a Jesus freak or you know, crazy for that, it would be wrong of me to do. And if I called Sharon Lee fat or something, that would be wrong of me to do. And I'm not going to do that. But I'm just saying, those, to me, there's certain things
you called a bitch from a movie ugly as sin.
But she was ugly as sin. But it was intended to be that way.
That's your opinion, though.
But it was intended the movie it was a movie, first of all. It wasn't real life, and it was intended for her to look homely.
My whole point is all these people saying all of these things and viciously attacking the show and claiming it's an embarrassment to the Bigfoot community.
Yeah, that's...
What do you think you are?
Yeah.
Look in the mirror.
I mean, tell me that show
Completely.
where they're, talking that way and saying those things isn't an embarrassment to the community.
Well, like I said to you before the show, Matt, if you were a first-time listener to a Bigfoot radio show and you happen to tune in at that point where they were doing that, what would you think of the Bigfoot community? Now, look at Bigfoot Bounty. And if you were a first-time viewer of any Bigfoot show, what would you think of the Bigfoot community?
God forbid, what if I had clear video footage of a Bigfoot, in high def from close up, and I happen to be a homosexual? So I came to the Bigfoot community to see who I wanted to give this footage to and see if I wanted to release it to the world, and I tuned into that show.
Well, you would not come out of the closet, so to speak, with your footage, right? I wouldn't.
I'm just saying, you can't, it goes back to throwing stones. I mean, if you present yourself in a professional manner and you want to say that something's an embarrassment, fine. But you just come across like fucking douchebags, whenever you're doing the same shit that you're accusing something else of doing.
I have no problem with them bashing Bigfoot Bounty. I mean, if that's their opinion of the show, as long as they watched it, because the ones that bashed it without watching it or make themselves look like assholes. But as long as they watched it and their opinion of the show is that they don't like it, that's fine. Bash it all you want. But to bash the contestants based on things they can't change, like their sexuality, that to me was what was wrong about it. That's all I'm saying.
Wow. That was deep.
Wow.
Yes.
Am I going to have to edit out some of that shit?
No. Let me just say one thing. Sheep pig anus meat. Sheep pig anus meat. All right, back to the show.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm not even gonna segue tonight.
I guess we have to do the news now. From Deacon, DECCAN Chronicle.com. Apparently, Google Maps finds a mysterious triangular UFO on the moon. A series of images captured on Google Maps showing a mysterious triangular wedge-shaped spaceship, quote-unquote, on the moon has baffled the world. The spacecraft also appeared to have a row of 7 light dots along the edge.
It's a Dorito.
Metro.co.uk reported. The controversial snaps, I'm assuming photo shots, which have fueled speculations that the object could actually be an alien spaceship, were discovered by snaps.
Some type of cracker chip?
I'm just reading the story.
Did you call me a cracker?
No.
The controversial snap.
It's because I'm on the Fortean Slip,
honky.
isn't it? It's because I'm on the Fortean Slip. You gotta attack me.
The controversial snapshots, which have fueled speculation that the object could actually be an alien spaceship, were discovered
You got something against aliens, Steve?
Were discovered by paranormal researchers.
They're just trying to provide for their family, Steve.
Wow for Real. Wow for Real posted a video of the finding on YouTube, asserting that the find was unique and unusual because he couldn't find anything else like it in any of the other craters.
A triangle?
Triangle. Cool. And in our next story from myjournalcourier.com, Dead Winter has a new meaning for paranormals. The chill in the air must be more than winter this week when paranormal aficionados from across the Midwest visit Jacksonville. The American Hauntings Dead of Winter Festival is being hosted by Jacksonville Ghost Master Lauren Hamilton.
Yeah, master.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go by that in the Bigfoot world. I want to be a Bigfoot master.
The free event will take place from noon to 5 p.m. Saturday at the Jacksonville Theater Guild in Jacksonville. The theater company is housed in a former boarding house and funeral home at 210 West College Avenue.
How come they have these haunted buildings that always used to be a funeral home, boarding school, and tuberculosis center?
Strange occurrences there have included ghostly voices, slamming doors, moving objects, and the presence of a woman in white wearing a dress from the vaudeville era. In addition to stories and discussions about strange phenomena,
vaudeville.
There will be an after-hours ghost hunt, door prizes, and raffle baskets.
With Rictor.
There is a charge for the after-hours tour, which is from 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. And
what does this have to do with the dead of winter?
It's the Dead of Winter Festival, Matt.
Oh.
For registration information, go to bumpinthenight.net/funeral.html.
_ vaudeville hashtag who fucking cares.
And from standardmedia.co.ke. Did you know that witchcraft attracts a 10-year jail term? From Kenya.
It does in Mattstown.
It just attracts it, though.
Witchcraft somehow goes hand in dark hand with endemic poverty and low levels of education in regions where it is rampant in Kenya.
Yeah, when you think Ethiopia, I think witchcraft.
The practice of witchcraft is illegal and can have the one using charms to harm others going his or her sorcery heals in jail for 10 years.
Blood diamonds?
Even falsely accusing another of witchery attracts 50,000 SH fine, whatever SH means in Kenya, if found guilty or cooling government porridge in a slammer for 5 years.
You know, we watched this movie and it was horrible.
According to Witchcraft and colonial rule in Kenya from 1900 to 1955.
Dr. Allen.
Historian
Go on, Steve, you can do it.
You scream.
You know, generally I make it through the news without breaking down. Every time you say Dr. Allen, it just gets to me. I lost my place. Next story. Mystery rock spotted on Mars from CNN.com. This is a reputable news source.
You're never going to know the end of that story.
Well, I'll go back to it.
No, that's okay.
Yes, I will. According to colonial rule in Kenya from 1900 to 1955, historian Catherine Luwingo informs us in her 2011 book that weeding out witches was a tribal affair in colonial Kenya. That was until a high-profile witch-killing case of a Kamba woman happened in 1931. Mwakai was killed by a group of men.
Case of 1931 out of Kenya. I remember it well.
Mwakai was killed by a group of men from her community. Mwakai's murder saw tens of
and Bill Pullman
Kamba
came up
men.
out of the ground and said, "And this is our Independence Day."
Mwakai's
We will not go down without a fight.
Mwakai's murder saw tens of Kamba men arraigned in court and charged in the Wakamba witch-killing trials of 1931 and 1932. Mwakai had been suspected of bewitching a fellow woman in the village of Kamba, and elders ordered her death. The case, officially known as Rex versus Mwaka.
Rex?
That's
Who
what
was
it's,
Rex?
and 69 others was heard at the Supreme Court in a trial that sent shockwaves into the colony. Now can I finish that story? Can I go to another story? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting dehydrated here talking about witchcraft. Mystery rock spotted on Mars, and this one's from CNN.com. Did the Mars rover Opportunity order a jelly donut? Not quite, but scientists are baffled. Just reading the story. Not quite, but scientists are baffled by a white rock with a dark red low spot in the middle that just plain appeared at that spot on the planet where the rover is situated, says Steve Squires, lead scientist of the Mars Exploration Rover mission. In recent weeks, Opportunity took photos of the same spot on Mars 12 days apart. The rover's panoramic camera showed only barren bedrock on mission day 3528 in Mars time, but on day 3540, a photo of the same scene revealed the mysterious donut-shaped rock.
Wait a second. That wasn't there before.
Squires showed photos of this ghostly geological desert at a recent NASA event celebrating 10 years since the Spirit and Opportunity rovers landed on Mars.
What makes it ghostly?
Just
It's just a desert. I mean, there's nothing there except rocks.
It's empty. Everybody's
Okay.
alone, Matt. It's depressing.
Spirit's mission ended in 2010 after losing the use of two wheels and ceasing to communicate, but Opportunity is still chugging along and finding new surprises such as this rock.
And opportunities.
Apparently. The photos of the outcrop showing the absence and then the presence of the pastry-sized rock were taken 12 days apart. The rover had not driven over that spot, Squires said. There are two leading theories about where the rock called Pinnacle Island came from. Neither of them include the possibility of an intergalactic Dunkin' Donuts. The most likely scenario...
Whenever they tell stories about the Mars rovers, does anybody ever picture Wall-E?
Yeah,
Like, I always
all
see,
by
like, Wall-E
himself,
roving around on Mars,
cleaning shit
looking
up.
for, like, a plant.
The most likely scenario is the Opportunity flicked the rock with one of its wheels.
Flick the bean.
Yeah, we had driven a meter or two away from here, and somehow maybe one of the wheels kind of managed to spit it out of the ground and have
It's
it
on
slide in.
hydraulics. Sorry. You're doing, like, two-wheel motion. All right, side to side, now back and forth.
NASA is planning another rover mission in 2020, and that future robot could possibly collect samples that would later return to Earth for further study. Such sophisticated technology will help us see what other mysterious sweets the planet can deliver.
We're going to spend billions of dollars to go take a picture of that rock.
And that is the news, fellas. I don't know who wrote that story.
Maybe it was a Martian crack dealer.
Apparently, they like donuts.
Apparently, somebody was fucking hungry.
I think so.
Maybe they wanted some fucking sheep pig.
Sheep, pig, penis, meat.
Sheep pig coming up.
Give me a couple more of them sheep pigs.
You know, even if I wanted you to try to get Spam as a sponsor, I don't think they're going to do it. Sheep, pig, penis. I'm going to keep saying that.
We really wish.
Ask for it by name.
Oh, well.
Join us next
I don't
time
think I'm going to
when Steve says something completely irrational and unbelievable.
I don't think I'm going to let my mom listen to this show.